Hello. Can y'all hear me? Okay, I can hear me, so that's good. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here tonight. Hi. If you don't know me, I'm Courtney. I'm the co founder of the film festival. Really appreciate you guys being here. Woo, and rocking out with us tonight. Tonight we are joined by award-winning actor, comedian, writer, and producer Lil Rel Howery, a true powerhouse in entertainment whose breakout role as a TSA agent, Rod Williams, in Jordan Peele's Oscar-winning Get Out catapulted him into stardom. His unique blend of humor and heart made him a cultural favorite, earning him the MTV Award for Best Comedic Performance, an NAACP Image Award nomination, and the Bernie Mac Comedy King of the Year honor. And in addition to all of that, he is also a very enthusiastic and amazing ambassador for the Micheaux Film Festival. And we are so grateful to have his support, to have him be here and share some gems with you guys. We had a conversation earlier this week, and I said, you know what? We have to get the people in the room for this. We have to let them hear the gems. I'm excited for y'all to hear this conversation. I would like to bring out our moderator, Yamoria Wright.
How y'all doing? Good. It's good to see all of you. It's good to see all of you. All right. Well, shall we get started? All right. I'm ready, Lil Rail.
You had said you was gonna read something, then that's why I was waiting.
You say what?
You was like, yeah, I'm gonna read the bio.
Oh,
And
they
then,
read it.
oh, all right, I don't know. I'm here. How y'all doing? Thank y'all for having me. This is gonna be fun.
This is so I'm a little thicker, so I might have to we just gonna go like that. So we were having a good conversation in there, so I kind of just want to pick up where we left off, and I'll run it back a little bit. But before I do, like, how are y'all feeling tonight? How's the festival been for you? Just shout, just holler at me. You good? Inspired? Love the energy. Love the energy. That is important for this conversation. I'm so excited. Shout out to Courtney for reaching out to me. I'm very honored. So I want to talk about the habits that you've developed as an entertainer, as a producer, that you believe have led you to your success.
um, I mean, it's not necessarily habits because it's different parts of everything that's happened in my life and in my career. Just some of the stuff that I'm walking in now. Really, I say this all the time, but I'm living in my let go and let God like lifestyle. And you know how people just say that? Like I literally live my life like that. I don't force anything anymore. I really don't. And I've learned to like, cause people always say, without, you know, faith without works is, but I think you have to learn when God tell you to rest, how to rest for real. And I've learned how to sit and rest and still preparing myself for my blessings. Because there's been times where I've been drained by the time I got my blessings because I was doing too much and wasn't waiting on God. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like church already.
No,
You
I'm being
said
real.
you said hi. People say, I'm listening.
But that's just the truth. That's really what I've been on. I've used that in every aspect of my life, from the career stuff. Like the last few years, I've made some very interesting moves that I'm starting to reap the benefits of it. And it was crazy because I had to like talk myself out of this like a month ago that I started getting to the finish line of stuff, and then I started telling God, okay, this is cool, because I got nervous about the outcome. So I'm like, oh, this is fine. This is cool, God. I don't need to see the end result. You know what God showed me before I even started.
Right.
But I got so close to, I got nervous again, right? And so I had to learn to get out of that too. But I've been in this very beautiful place of let go and let God, the lifestyle.
The lifestyle. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. So how does that flow into what your morning? Because there's like 50 million books about like how to be a winner in the morning routine. Like, how do you feel about that? How do you cultivate your morning so that you are able to enter the day successfully, or just your best self?
Uh, I like to get up and work out.
Okay.
Again, it became very important for me to have stuff in my home so I can walk right out and do it. And that's another thing too. It's so interesting. Like, um, I had to get comfortable. Like, I had to get comfortable living a successful life.
Hmm.
I'm from the west side of Chicago, so like you tend to do things that you used to doing, right? You like, all right, this is where I'm supposed to go eat at. This is what like because this is what I know. And I remember like Gerard Carmichael used to take me like we did the Carmichael show, and he'd take me and Loretta Devine to like nicer restaurants that wasn't Roscoe's or Doolin's, and we'd be like, "What's this fancy place, Gerard?" You know, but Gerard used to always be like, "Real, like you doing too good to literally go to this. You're just going to places you're comfortable going to."
Yeah.
And for whatever you know what I mean and so like for me like I've had to learn to like reap the benefits of the life I've created and it's like okay cool I want to work out at home so I got the equipment to do everything in my house and while I'm doing that I got my gospel playlist playing and I'm manifesting things and you know even stuff I may have difficulty with when I'm lifting it just I just learned to like translate that into my
Yeah.
own thing and so I do that in the morning. You know, and me and my wife will pray. Even when we're irritated with each other, we make sure we pray. No, seriously.
That's a
Yeah,
gem.
yeah. You have to do. It's funny though, because sometimes, because we do put God in the middle. Like God, you heard what she said. See, this is what I'm talking about. You know, it really has. But you know, but it helps though to do that.
Yeah,
Like when you
yeah.
really put God in the middle of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I know it might sound almost cliche and corny, but like I truly that's I had to stop like and this is therapy too. It's not even just the church and you know, I had to start rereading the word again on my own. And then just even with my career stuff, like for me to even enjoy what I've done, I had to like just rewire everything. Cause I was in a I like create a persona for myself and the persona was running everything. It got me to where I'm at,
Right.
but at some point, you're like, yo, this is crazy, because the persona was created from like my favorite rappers, and then, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I saw how Dame Dash walked into the office one time and he snapped at everybody, and you thought that's how you're supposed to be, and
Yeah.
that ain't how you're supposed to be. And so I had to reprogram myself. And the last few years, watching, literally reaping the benefits of the reprogramming, and like, oh, this is better and this is less stressful to be to man, I don't know, to do whatever I thought was like even when I had my sitcom and I just saw Shonda Rhimes talking about this and I thought this was powerful and when she was saying that like she was comfortable asking for help and didn't want to act like she knew everything. And I did that. When I had my show, I wanted to act like I used to go in the writer's room and give all these notes and then go in my office like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to look like I knew what I was doing because I didn't want to look like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's very interesting, like, you know, just being in this good place of asking questions and being okay with not knowing things. That's why in the movie I just directed, it was the best experience I've ever had making movies because I understood what everybody did and I talked to everybody. And I'm like, dang, I never done that before. You know, so it's I don't know. I'm just I don't even know what the question was,
It's
but
about your routine, but we got you. We got you. We're following. I mean, it sounds like part of it was about transforming from within and being able to really sit with yourself. Would you agree?
yeah, that was therapy. You know what I'm saying? One day I had a panic attack on my stairs on my way to set, and I didn't know what was wrong. And my assistant at the time was like, "Real, I've been telling you you need to go to therapy." And I was like, you know, that was one. I started crying. I've never like I didn't know, and things were great. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? You know, but also that's also was a part of me. It was something inside of me changing and fight. It was a battle, and therapy was what helped start helping me through that battle.
You know, I think that I'll speak for myself. I can certainly relate, and I'm sure some others can. How did you get over the moments where maybe you felt a little bit numb to the success? Does that make sense? Like good things are, because you kind of spoke to like good things are happening, but you're not able to experience it. I had a wonderful career year last year, and I got to a point where, like, if I'm gonna be honest, I was like, okay, like it just became almost so overwhelming that I could not enjoy the moment. And I think, that was also God pulling me to slow down so that I could get recentered because it was just a lot.
Well, that's when I knew, like, for me, drinking was was numbing it, and you know, because this is the thing about it. I talk about how I haven't had to drink in 2 years, and you don't have to clap, but if you want to, you can.
You know, it's the church. Everything you saying is
Well,
I'm
that's my journey though, right?
Yeah,
Because I know people who function well. You know what I mean? And I abused it. Like I abused drinking. I think that could be a privilege. I think a lot of times we look at everything as all bad, 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 but it's not. Like, people try to say weed is bad, but Snoop Dogg is a very functioning, successful person. He's pretty happy too, you know what I'm saying? But it's because I don't think it's as, for me, drinking, I abused it in a way I was using it to escape and to not deal with stuff. And I kept abusing it. You know what I'm saying? Then I tried to like trick God. When God told me to stop drinking, I tried to say, well, I'm gonna just only have one drink and I'm gonna just drink this. And it was, well, no, I was hurting myself. It was still the same results. Once again, when you start to know better, things, I can't even describe it. It's gonna be the same result. Whether I had 11 drinks or one drink, it started feeling the same because I knew better. You know what I'm saying? And so once again, therapy and having some really tough conversations about grief, and I'm from Chicago. There's so many things I normalized that I didn't realize I was traumatized, but it was so normal to me that I didn't realize it was affecting me. And so like it's funny because me and my brother both going through therapy now. We have our conversations about so many different things, but it's like, we grew up with great parents and a great family, but we still live where we live. You know what I'm saying? We still lost like I remember for me to get used to losing friends since I was like 10, to see it in the end of a yearbook, it was like we got normal that somebody was dead, but these was kids. And I didn't realize until I started replaying and having a conversation with my therapist, like, yo, these are children. But they was all the same age, so I didn't look at it like that. I didn't realize how crazy that was.
because you were so used to it.
I normalized it. Like, what I mean, especially a lot of us that grew up in the 90s, we was like the first group of the drive-by. Like, that stuff was new. And so it's really interesting, like where I'm at now, replaying everything and having real emotions about stuff, which is like it interprets to the art. I do a movie like We Grown now because it did a great job of to me telling the story of what happened in the projects when the gangs and the dope dealing took really, it started festering in a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And so it's I'm very intentional about the stuff I do because of these stories I think need to be told.
That's powerful. And it's so funny you say that. My parents are from Gary, so I got, yeah. That always
Gary go
happens.
Gary.
Gary go Gary. But I have had those conversations with my parents about the ways in which, not just our relatives, they've normalized certain things, and they'll just talk about certain trauma, and I'm like, you traumatized, right? You don't know it, but like you are, and your body feels it, and it's like that trauma is stored inside of you and manifests in the most intense ways and the most surprising ways sometimes. Like you talked about the anxiety attacks,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I think that that's really important for us to keep in mind. What do you think for a lot of artists out there, or here actually in the room? What do you think about the ways in which they can really start to slow down enough to look at their work, especially when you can feel like if I give up this opportunity or if I slow down, I'm gonna miss it. What are your suggestions for them to really discern like how to balance that desire to go after without sacrificing themselves or losing themselves even further?
Yeah, I just think you gotta pace yourself and try not to force things.
Okay.
And then also too, even when you got the heat on you, they tell you like you gotta strike the iron while it's hot and all
Yep,
this.
they do.
And that's just kind of wild. One of the things I love about Issa has like this way she coasts that's like I can't even describe it. You know what I'm saying? Like that, which is one of my favorite people to talk to. Like when I have questions and stuff, which is why I absolutely love black women because they are the ones that answer the phone and answer the questions. No, seriously. And I hate to say that, brothers, we gotta do a better job of communicating with each other and stop competing. Cause like I get sad about the people I have reached out to who do that thing with like, yeah, man, whatever, but whatever, and then don't. And I have real questions. Like, it ain't like I ain't asking for nothing. That's why the brothers that did look out for me, I look at a person like Cedric the Entertainer who, man, said is somebody I think doesn't get enough flowers about how many people he looked out for. You know what I'm saying? When I first did the Carmichael show, and I never did a sitcom before, and I remember just said up like, yo, I'm in LA and I'm shooting a pilot. And he's like, all right, well, come to the Soul Man set so you can see how rehearsal go and stuff like that with a multicam. And then so when I got to set the next day, me and Loretta, I'm like, you act like you've been used to this before. But she was right because Sid walked me through everything. He didn't have to do that. But Sid is also so funny with Sid. I remember he kicked me off his tour. I was touring with him, and I needed the money. And he was just like, real, it's something bigger about you, man. You're not an opener, man. I said, I need to be because I need the money, brother. uh, but I understood what he was saying, though. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't have to do that. And what I think that's one of the reasons why he couldn't wait to have me come on set. He did, that was years before I did Carmichael show, but he was like, I saw your growth. You know what I'm saying? Now you doing it. So yeah, you don't ask for anything.
Yeah.
And that's actually been a key to me. Like I've had so many great relationships because I never asked them I didn't ask them to make a phone call. I just wanted the information. You tell me the information, that's all I need and I'll run with it. I don't need, you ain't got to send an email. I had to explain that to like people that's in my life. My cousin Rashida, who's out here killing the game. One of the things I love about her is when I explained that to her when she came to LA. My family called me, your cousin out there, she trying to. I hear you, but I got to see that she really on this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I don't even know if it was right now that I think about it because I'm in a different mindset now. But she didn't run from that. She's like, I got you, cuz. So when I started getting calls about her and nobody knew that was my cousin, that's what made me happy. It was like, oh, you don't even know. I am about to recommend her, first of all, because I'm proud of her, but you don't even know that's my cousin.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to be like, that's my cousin, right? And it's been like that with friends and everything. It's really interesting about like just not forcing things and pacing yourself, and not being afraid of no's is such a big deal. No's make you stronger, and some of those no's have, as much as we want to like kind of have our ego into it, you're like, I know this is good, but what if it ain't?
It's true. I had a little attitude with God this summer. I did. Because I got too, like, yes, but not really. You know what I mean? Like, you're a finalist, but you're not going to make. And I was like, I said, well, I didn't even need the thing. Like, you could have just, I felt like I was teased, right? But it's like, what did I learn in the process? And I would also say a lot of what we learn in the process is character building. It's not always tangible things. It's who you are. When we study, the word, or people are studying historical figures they look up to, what you're looking up to is character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So how would you say that the circumstances you've been in, how have they shaped your character? What tangible ways have you seen it reshape you?
It's a lot of things. I mean, recently I had to own the fact that. So I did a movie, and I don't know. I felt like the producer and the director really, they was like kind of all over the place, and they wasn't doing what they should be doing. And, it got to a point where we all bumped heads a bit, and I'm like, I'm gonna stand up for myself, and blah blah blah, and I did. I really did. I stood up for myself.
How'd it go?
It went good for my ego, but it was wrong once again I'm fast forward to where I'm at now, and I replayed it, and I asked God a question that I didn't ask the whole other. I didn't even ask God this question like, was it my fault? Was I wrong? I didn't ask God that any of the time it was happening. I just held, yeah, they were wrong. And I was at a screening for that particular director's new movie, and I sat there, I was like, God, was I wrong? And God was like, yeah, I know you felt like what was happening to you and they were wrong. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like I wasn't wrong about what I felt like I was standing up for, but I had to think about all those other people on set, and when I took that stand, how it affected all these other people.
The environment.
Yes.
You didn't know your power.
Not just the environment, they didn't know this stuff was happening behind the scenes.
Ah.
So if I'm gonna stand there and be like, you know, son, you don't tell me I'm a tap and dance. Guess what? I ain't doing nothing. And you know, whatever I did.
Yeah, yeah,
And and I apologized to that director. He didn't know why I was apologizing.
He forgot all about it.
No, he didn't know why. Cause think about it. This wasn't about him. He might, you know, at the same time, he's already said what he said about me to other people.
Okay.
That's affected other work, you know what I'm saying? And so now, you know, you in that situation where everybody talk. Because black people, we got to realize something. We don't run anything. None of us have no real power. We don't. Not in this business. We really don't. So
Hey, that's context people need to understand.
people don't get that. Like, we always, like, black gatekeepers are like, really just like friend gatekeepers. They don't own the money. White people be looking at us like we crazy when we be bickering. You know that, right? Like I remember at the Netflix is a joke brunch, and you know at the time the cat said everything he said, and none of the black comics was talking, and all the white comics there was cracking up like, oh, this is crazy. The black comics are not talking, and we all at Ted Sarange's house, and we look crazy, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We look crazy.
Yeah.
We look crazy.
This is great context because who's on Threads? Y'all know, okay? Y'all, 2 weeks ago, there was all this discourse on Threads about an event, and people were tearing it down, and people were defending, and I was just like looking at it from, and I didn't know anything about it because I'm on there to like express myself, and I don't even know if people pay attention, you know? Like, but I was like, I was looking, I was like, all this back and forth about a black-centered event or a black-centered event, and you don't realize the dollars behind that and who's really behind that and what they're looking at. And that can negatively impact the future of events. You know what I mean? If we're doing that public kind of back and forth like that. So I think that's great context. You know what I mean? That's really great context.
Yeah, that's why like it's funny. Like nobody, I laugh at stuff like that when somebody like to just say like, well, like dude, you can't stop nothing. Like we don't run any of this. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care.
Yeah.
And so that's why you start learning the business better. And that, you know, that's something I leaned into like a crazy person, like especially when we was on strike. You know, that was one of the things I prayed about. I was like, God, can I see why the CEOs don't want to give us this? Like why?
Yeah.
Like let me learn the reason why. This has to not. It's not just because they all evil Darth Vaders and like they're evil to us. Some of this stuff is just business.
Right.
They have investors they have to answer to. Is a certain amount, like, because honestly, most of these people that's running these studios and these executives, they're not entertainment-loving people.
Nope.
They're business people that know numbers. These are corporations. So these studios are hiring people who can make sure their bottom line is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like, you want to learn, like, and they can't wait to tell you. If you ask them, like, so what's this? You know, and so.
Wait, there's something there, though. You said they can't wait to tell you if you ask them.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that a little more?
Wealthy people love to tell you how they got wealthy.
Y'all, somebody better remember that.
they really, they like can't wait, especially like wealthy
They're
white
so
people.
excited about it.
Yeah, they're like, hey, well, you know. But a lot of times we get in these rooms, and it's so funny. We'll network in rooms that's just us, and get nervous when we really in that room full of wealth, and that's when we cringe up and be okay. I don't want to say nothing. But if you in that room, you're supposed to be in that room for a reason. So when I started being in these rooms recently with these billionaires, I just started asking regular random questions. Sometimes they'd be like, hey, how's the breakfast? It's good, but you know, I just, you know, they just start telling you stuff like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I learned a lot. Like the last few years, the business part, I've been very focused on the business of the business. You know, that's what I love about festivals like this. We have people who learn how to raise money and finance things, but we can't keep asking for money. We don't tell them how they're going to get it back. You know, so you have to learn how to, you know, asking for financing. Hey, this is how I'm going to get you your money back, and this is potentially how we're going to make a profit from it. But I can guarantee you I'm going to get you your bread back.
Right, right.
And I'm not going to even ask you until I know I can get your bread back. Until I got a game plan with that. And so that's what I've been doing with all these. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm really watching all the stuff, these crazy business plans come to fruition. And I'm seeing God work because I'm like, dang, most people are panicking. Oh, we're not working as much and this and that. But this is an independent filmmaker's paradise right now if you know business.
Right.
And so most of the people who's leaning into more independent filmmaking that's supposedly mainstream, I guess, like me, this is my wealthy season because they don't see it coming. They gonna, well, all of us could be what Blumhouse was in A24.
Yeah.
They didn't have anything. Their budgets was stupid low.
Yeah. Can I? You said supposedly with regards to yourself. Why do you say that? Because I think that often, there's the they versus us kind of mentality, and that people don't really understand your one decision to stop or one decision to keep going away from that breakthrough moment. Can you provide any insight to people who don't really understand or who just need to be encouraged again when it comes to like that breakthrough moment that they might be sitting on or turning away from?
It happens a couple of times. I think you keep
Okay.
having breakthrough moments.
Okay.
I started in stand up, so like, um, it's so many little interesting breakthrough moments that kept happening. Some bigger than others. You know what I'm saying? And then every time it's just always different. Get Out was a breakthrough moment. It wasn't when the movie came out; it was when I booked it. When I went in for that callback, I remember reading the script and being like, "Man, this sound like me. If I don't book this, I can't act." This sound like me. And seeing Jordan Peele do an interview while we was on our run, and him saying that he was thinking of me as he was writing it, I had no idea. And so when we went and did the callback, we did the scene that we took out the movie when Daniel character go to jail. That was a callback scene we did.
Oh, okay.
So it was really emotional. And I remember leaving, waiting on my Uber, and I'm standing outside trying to get my emotions together and wiping my eyes. And Jordan comes out, and I'm like, "What's up?" He's like, "Hey, man, look, I ain't supposed to tell you this, but you booked it. It's yours." I'm like, "You, brother, it's like 6 people in there. I know, and they're about to go in there and read with you, right?" You want me to go tell them? No. And he said that to me, and I'll never forget that. It was in Burbank, and I just started walking and praising God. I'm not even lying to you. For like an hour, I literally like in tears,
Yeah.
and I had no idea what this movie was going to be.
You was just grateful.
It was just like because it felt like something. I couldn't even describe it. I think I was just happy to book a feature. You know what I mean? And that's one of the things I love about my friend Tiffany Haddish. To be quite honest with you, like I I get upset at people because sometimes they feel like they picking on her. And when I tell you that was my first LA friend, when I needed to come out here and audition and showcase, to let me crash on her couch. She'll pick me up in that loud GL Metro from the airport, and I couldn't wait to hear that car. Couldn't wait to hear. And she like, "What up, boo?" Like, and, man, she let me crash on her couch. But one of the things I watched with her, she had like her printer on like one of those little TV tables, so it used to shake every time she's printing her sides out. And no, I ain't gonna put her business out there, but like watching watching her go to every audition, because I'll just ride with her, because most of the time the showcase was stand-up showcases at night, so I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do on the day, so I'll ride with you. But when she used to come out of every audition, if she booked it or not, she was so happy. She was so, I'm like, "Tiff, you ain't book it yet." "I know, but it was fun." And some people, you just like, "Man, like I got this wrong. I need to be more positive in my life. Like, have more gratitude for the small stuff." She was so excited about like just the opportunity. And so, like, let's fast forward. It's so funny because I do have my moments, but it's something about watching your friends have moments because it's inspiring. I think when I saw her, I think her and Gerard both have movies in movie trailers at the movie theater. I go to the movies all the time, so I'm seeing him in Transformers trailer, and her for the Keanu at the time movie trailer, and I'm like, "Oh my God!" But for me, it was like I'm close. If these my friends, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so when me and Hannibal Burris, one of the good friends, we went to Essence Fest when they was shooting Girls Trip. We just went down there for no reason. He called me out of nowhere, like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing." "So you want to go to Essence Festival?" "I don't care." And so we went down to Essence Fest, and it was so much fun. It was such a freestyle trip. But when we saw Tiffany walking with Queen Latifah and Jada Pickett for the scene they walking down to Regina Hall, we was like, "Yo, she gone." That's Queen Latifah. Tiffany's walking with Queen Latifah and Jada.
Yeah.
Damn. You know what I mean? I remember FaceTiming her once I saw the full movie. I left the movie. We literally, I'm in an Uber. This Uber driver out there, we was in there crying, talking to each other. I'm like, because she spoke all this stuff up, man. Like, we was in Chicago. When I was with my ex-wife at the time, and my ex-wife was doing her hair, Tiff was just saying stuff like, we gonna be husband and wife on something. We gonna do this. We gonna be in movies. Gonna be able to go to the Four Seasons brunch whenever we feel like it. You know, all that stuff. And she would just speak it all this stuff up, and I used to think she was crazy. But everything happened. And then when she hosted the MTV Movie and TV Awards, and I came to the after party and I saw this long line full of celebrities. What is the food line or something? It was just a line for them to speak to her. This is the same girl that cats used to get mad at me for bringing her to parties. Because she Tiff. They like, oh, you brought extra. And then also, she used to get the other girls hyped because they didn't want the girls in the section doing nothing. But sitting there, for real. But Tiff would show up and everybody start dancing. They like, man, what you bring Tiff for? She got the girls dancing. I'm like, we're not supposed to have a good time. It's a club, ain't it? And them same people call me all the time. Like, can Tiff come to my party? Can do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But man, when I tell you, and I guess I could tell my own stuff, but it's something about watching your friends, like somebody who was that humble, who was homeless. I mean, you just got your apartment and you're offering your couch for me to crash out. Like, that's why it's no surprise when you see certain people catapulting away. You're like, how did that happen? Man, that's God.
That heart posture.
Straight up.
That heart posture. Do you think because of the level of influence that social media has, that we are becoming further from that? And when I say that I do mean people who are still up and coming. I put it in quotes because what does it even mean, right? Yeah, we're all up and coming, but you know what I mean. And do you feel like we've lost our way? Because I think that you spoke about that competition, and it's really prevalent. As is that feeling that I am not enough. Really, that core feeling of not being worthy. Do you think that that's removing us from being able to get closer to where we need to be spiritually?
Yeah, it can't just be social media. It's just culturally, as black people, especially as black people, like that, it's embedded in us to kind of get scared of the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Which is why when you think about it, like when we think about how some of our legends die and they don't have wills and people arguing about their money and stuff, that means they're not even sure. They're not even thinking past whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of wild to me.
It's true.
And because we talk about generational wealth all the time, but like we don't build it. A lot of us are truly living the prayers that had nothing to do with us. I don't think these are my prayers that's coming true.
That's the word.
These are like prayers from my great grandparents and like just people way before me. That's what I'm living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so I had to change the way I pray about the future. Like I joke with my kids all the time. Like I got this portrait done when I did Judas and the Black Messiah. Somebody got a portrait done, and I'm like, look, hang this up in every house. When I'm way past gone, like, yep, he the one that did it. That's why we here. No, for real. You know what I mean? I want to be that person in my family. Like I'm long gone, but that picture right there, yep, there you go.
That's him.
He the one that got us here.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. Was like I don't believe social media. I think social media could be really positive, and it could be, but just like anything, you got to imagine what was social media then. Even with the way we look at the world and life, like the way we panic now, and we're like, this got to be, you got some churches like, yep, Revelations, yeah, this happening.
Yeah. Last days.
But you had to think that when Dr. King got killed.
Yes. I told somebody, I said, this is the last days, and he said, it's been the last days since my grandma was a little girl. I said, but this really the last. This is it.
It had to. I mean, could you imagine at that time? Me and my brother was just talking about this. Like, they had lost Malcolm, Martin, John F. Kennedy got killed, which was a white. So you had to be like, all right, this is it. They about to kill everybody.
And then others were dying, like Lorraine Hansberry. There was other people that were passing for other reasons. Like people were passing away.
It was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so once again, that's why like I believe like reading your word and knowing history is very important.
Okay.
You gotta find a way to tie that in. To me,
How do you tie that in?
it's been a very beautiful journey of me rereading my word, and because I'm in my wisdom season. I told you I'm a let go, let God season, and I'm owning becoming a wiser guy. You know what I mean? I'll be 46 this year in December, and I know I'm that guy in my family now. You know what I'm saying? Like I own that. Like everybody get the fuss, and I'm like, we done? This is what we gonna do, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I own the wisdom part of it, and a part of it is not just, I had to really think about this one day. I mean, you was talking about that back there, where I was like, I love my pastor, but sometimes I don't agree with everything. But that's every day. Like I don't agree with people every day. So why the place I'm most invested in, which is my faith, I'm gonna take the word of somebody saying to me, "Oh, that don't even make sense." I ain't gonna question nothing, because I mean, people look at it like that's going against the Bible. No, it's not. It's just it's another adult, another person, another wise person. We just see it a little differently. Especially, sometimes most pastors pander to the women in church because there's a lot of women at church. You like, honey, they start doing that. I'm like, all right, bro. No, I'm not. I'm being honest. I'm being very honest. Like if they talk a relationship, it's literally going to be one sided for the rest of that Sunday, because it's mostly women at church, which I get. So I understand that actually. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to go with your crowd. My uncle's a pastor. That's the audience. Yeah, it's the audience. Like why wouldn't he do that? You know what I mean? Like, and so it's really interesting with like just even understanding Jesus. I love Jesus way more than I ever had, because I see Jesus from this bigger light of like, dang, did Jesus really want us like Jesus showed up because basically we all was kind of like creating other idols instead of worshiping God. Jesus wanted to get us back on point, but then people were like, wait a minute, but who is this brother? And so it's really, the Bible's so fascinating, man. It's so amazing. Like when you reread it and you're interpreting things, because now, most of us are very educated. We talking about black people. Now, we not like how back in the day where we actually, everything had to be for interpretation. People went to school, you studied stuff, which is why, like, for me, it's like, I love a pastor that's went to theology. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seminary. Yeah, but they learn more than what they're just like, so they can come back and interpret. Like when they're teaching us, they're teaching us.
And that historical reference, like we were talking about too,
Back,
the context.
think about this. Back in the day, everybody was educated.
Right.
And so you got somebody who barely can read
Hey, it is what it is.
telling you what something is. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you super afraid of hell from somebody.
Yeah. Because then they start freestyling stuff. Like, that's why men shouldn't wear earrings. What?
Yeah, it's a freestyle.
And so, the 90s, earrings was a thing.
I know.
People forget about that. Like, it's like, Michael Jordan walking around with an earring. That was a sermon. The earring sermon. But I'm just saying, like, once you traveled, I've traveled the world.
Yeah.
And I love people so much. It just makes me look at everything so much. I tell people all the time, I thank God I'm not God. Because I do not want to have to make any of the decisions about any of y'all lives. My only job is to love on people and see them for who they are. And God makes the decision what God going to want to do with them. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Ain't got nothing to do. It's true.
So, and that helps you work, especially in our business. You have to look at it like that. We work with so many different types of people. Especially if you're a person of faith, I can't be one-sided about everything. It's weird. I'm meeting people from all over the world with all types of different religions. At the end of the day, if you good people, you good people.
Period. It's true. It's true. I'm gonna get a little deeper, and then I'm gonna open the floor. So if you got questions, it's almost time. What is your hope? And it might be multiple things for Black men in the industry when it comes to their mental and spiritual health, traversing this industry.
Man, it's interesting because, especially as a Black man, like I want us to give us, not telling y'all to give us some grace, but like it's a lot. We're breaking so many different crazy things that, I'm talking about like, this is a random story, but like, just even to understand my own body.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You grew up as a man. It's like, yo, whatever woman offer you whatever, you supposed to receive it, no matter how she looked or anything. Like, here you go. Like, okay. I know that sounds crazy,
No, but yeah.
but a lot of us was raised that way,
Uh-huh.
and not knowing our own bodies as men. Like, you can say no,
Yes. Ooh.
and I know that might sound crazy,
No.
and I think a lot of men don't even know they've dealt with almost situations where they don't even know they might have been raped.
Yes.
I think about the guys that bragged about like messing with older women and they like 15 and people being like, yeah, man, that's crazy. But like, what if he wasn't ready? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so having sons, that made me start really thinking about that and raising them and making sure they respected their bodies because I believe we teach men to respect their bodies, they'll learn to respect other people's bodies.
Ooh. Because it starts with yours.
It starts with yourself, right? So, it's so funny because I was older before my wife, but I was on a vacation and me and Shorty got into it hard, and she was like, but it made her like horny, I guess, and she wanted to do it. I'm like, no, it's my body, and I don't want to do it. And I like stormed out the room and and I was walking down the hallway, and I stopped like, did I just say no means no? But I was proud of myself, but it was crazy because I wasn't used to ever saying that. You understand what I'm saying?
I do, and that does translate into how you are in your career, into the
A
It's
100%.
everywhere.
100%. Like, and so as you know, it's black men especially. We gotta be comfortable with the truth, and the truth is, and it's not. If it was a room full of men, I would say this. It is so many crazy successful black women, and they don't mind giving you the information. Stop being weird, man.
It's real. Community.
Forget all the macho stuff. It's happening. Like we got some bosses, like bosses. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. These are your mamas, your aunties. Like I don't get it. Stop being weird.
Stop being weird.
Get the information.
It's true. That's how we build. That's how we
It is
reclaim.
crazy watching, and we talking about like I think about like even some of my homegirls as actresses, they were saving their money better than a lot of us was at first. Like Tiff is a great example. She was investing that money way early before she had it for real. She started buying property before she had it for real.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it was weird because I started seeing all my homegirls. I'm like, oh, y'all think like that?
But then nobody asked.
Nobody asked.
Yeah.
And so, when I started sitting down with like Ava DuVernay is one of my favorite people to sit down and talk. She's so brilliant and so smart and just know business. And that became big to me. It's like, like a lot of them know the business. It is so many of them that they can't wait to give the information. And it's weird when you hear them say like, man, these cats you look up to won't even ask.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, get it, man. I
Wow.
don't know, man. Get out. Stop being weird.
Yeah. Stop being. Anybody got any questions? Oh yeah. You good? You need the mic? You got a theater voice? I'm good. Okay.
So earlier you were talking about like reprogramming yourself. Yeah. Oh, okay. Hello, test test. Okay. So earlier you were talking about reprogramming, and I had a question about what are some characters that you feel like are often written that kind of program audiences, and then what is something that we can kind of look out for or reprogram in ourselves?
So I saw that amazing documentary, It's Dorothy, yesterday,
Yeah.
and so good. But I didn't realize until watching it how important that character was. Dorothy really affected a lot of things. Even just that movie Wizard of Oz really changed Hollywood in a way, right? Well, actually, too, when you start thinking about that, might have been one of the first movies people started seeing the buying power of doing stuff for families, as far as features goes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had that Fantasia movie, but they don't necessarily count. But it was Wizard of Oz that really kicked that off, and that Dorothy character. When you saw like you think about what they did with the Wizard of Oz, honestly, another character we sleeping on is Pollyanna. Was it Pollyanna?
Pollyanna?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And look, people get mad at us for doing black versions, but we need it. We gotta do black versions of stuff because we need to see both sides of it. And it was crazy. What I loved about that documentary yesterday is that white or black, they criticize every Dorothy. They criticized the first Dorothy of her look, and Dorothy wasn't even it didn't even exist yet. Like she was the first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's nothing for you to compare it to but a drawing. That's crazy. That you would say, oh, she's too old or too big or too like what? You know some well, here we go. That's men doing that male chauvinist stuff. You know what I'm saying? Trying to like that's crazy. Like Dorothy didn't even exist yet.
Just a sketch.
That's it. And we see that happen all the time. Like especially when we see black people being casted in some of these Marvel things, and then we got to hear the craziness of that. What that case? But this is not a real person.
And they got paint on their face.
They got paint on their face. Like why do you care? Like why do you care? You know, so look, we talk about original characters. I think it's so many different type of characters that are important, especially within our community. Like for me, I said it's but it's also I call it my Steve Martin season. I want to see some black actors and some brothers. Steve Martin went on a crazy run as a dad.
You said you love Father of the Bride, wasn't it?
Father Brad wanted. I am a big Steve Martin fan. I mean, when I tell you the run is crazy though, because it's an audience for that. But you know, most black men, I think black women feel the same way. We're scared of aging. I feel like Morris Chestnut been 35
He has
for
been.
30 years.
Since about 1994.
I mean, and there's nothing wrong because the brother look great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wonder, is that a psyche thing?
Do you think that we're afraid of it because we've not because of the trauma of not seeing enough of our elders grow old, or grow old and still be well?
Yes and no, right? It seemed like it should have been way more examples after the Cosby Show, and we didn't see. We haven't seen them in features. And then I look at myself too, like when I had my show, and I feel bad about it now, but it was based off my real life, and I was going through a divorce, so I wanted to do that based off my life thing. But you start to learn now it's bigger than just based off the truth. You know, what's my alternate universe? What if it was a successful marriage? And we need to see more of that. You know what I'm saying? We really do. And so like, I know for me, I've been leaning into that a lot more as far as like trying to make it. I want to make movies and comedies where like everything ain't over trauma built. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what, look, and we got look, drama is one thing, trauma is another thing. We can have a little drama,
Right.
but just straight trauma, then like, it's no, we could do better, especially with our comedies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And family comedy. So it just I want to see more of that. And I'm doing a lot with that, like the stuff I'm creating. So, those characters are so important. I think seeing, I just want to see more black love.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So my question would be, you were talking about manifesting in the beginning, right? And that could be, especially from the faith side of things, how can or have you seen, positive manifestations from, that practice into your art? So we just talked about the Cosby Show, right?
Yeah.
Do you still feel that that is purposeful and can happen still? And do you see yourself having a role in that?
100%. I mean, that's that. Let's just talk about manifesting and just not even just manifesting, like trusting the vision that God gives me, right? So like I say, like my last 3 specials were all dreams, like the whole set. I know it sounds crazy what I'm saying. I drink the set, and then I did it. For some reason, I can remember the set. And there's I have a lot of dreams, a lot of stuff, but for some reason, when I dream them specials, that's when I usually call my manager, like, I'm ready. He's like, ready for what? Next special. Say, what, you been on the road? No. I dreamed the set. I know I'm ready talking about. And so, like, for me, that's where I'm at now. Like, I've been literally, even just like the Christmas movie we have coming out November 7th, that was very intentional, too. It's like, okay, I want to see more. It's time to see a new group of actors do some of these big group movies. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny, when they sent me the offer for that movie, it was to play the uncle And I'm like, but who the lead? I read the whole script. Like, why they ain't offer this to me? And so I saw Tabitha Brown was a producer of it, who's my friend. I called her. I said, hey, did they cast the lead yet? She's like, no, real. I said, I think they thinking too small for this movie. Let's make this a bigger. We can make this a bigger movie. And so she put me in touch with the producers, and then I ended up coming on as a lead, but also as a producer. I'm like, we can make this a bigger movie. And man, I love what this movie has turned out to be. And it's, I think once again, and I had to tell them that too. They was like, well, we wasn't sure. We didn't want to be disrespectful. I'm like, man, these white producers, if they got $20, they'll ask Eddie Murphy to do the movie. They don't care about that note.
He's saying that with a straight face, y'all.
Yeah. And he'll be like, no. They'll be like, okay. Yeah. We get caught up in like scared to look like I don't want to look like I ain't got it or look like whatever. And no, just take it's a no. It's okay. You don't even know if it's gonna be a yes. Especially nowadays with it's not as much work, so there's a lot more available A-list actors that you wouldn't think is available that just want to work. Just ask.
I hope that blessed somebody. Just ask right here.
So I really don't have a question. I just wanted to say, I literally been watching you since you won the Bill Bellamy contest on
wow.
TV One. Literally from the beginning, I seen when you did your show, the little real show. I was out here just clapping, trying to get $1. Trying to make $1 to 15 cents. But it's just so inspiring to see someone. And I just had to come to the panel just to hear, especially because it was faith-based, and just to hear your perspective on the industry and your work and everything that you do. I just wanted to give you your flowers and say you are doing amazing.
Wow,
and I just love seeing, and not to make it about our people, but just seeing our people, especially you being from Chicago. I went to Columbia of Chicago. So it's
wow.
So many similarities, and it's just so inspiring. So thank you for the work that you do, and thank you for also sharing your story and also what you believe in and how you get through, and just giving us gems. It's really a moment. So just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you so much for that. Seriously. Wow.
What scripture are you meditating on? Have you been meditating on lately, and why?
It's funny. No, not one thing. So I've joined this recent Bible group that's crazy, and man, we get into some deep conversations. So I'm not married to anything right now. We usually do that one scripture, that Psalms 103 and 5. No, it's been because I'm rereading everything.
So you're rediscovering.
Yes. So not yet.
Okay.
Give me 2 more months.
Okay.
Because right now it's something going on in Corinthians that I'm loving.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a lot going on. I'm rereading everything. It's been really fascinating.
Okay, love that.
I appreciate y'all and everything you're giving here. First of all, born in Gary, moved to LA about 3 weeks ago. It's from Chicago.
Oh, wow.
So shout out to that.
Wow,
Chicago
brother.
and Gary as well. But my question for you is, throughout your journey, you had people who spoke things into existence before you could see it, and you have people who called you to your truth, right? Hey, you're gonna do this, or you're meant to do. So what was your decision-making process personally throughout that process that led you into the right situations, even if you didn't see what they saw?
That's a great question. I mean, Get Out was prophesied to me. It was a part of one of the first prophecies I've ever gotten, for real. I had lost my mom in '09, and I was in a dark place, man. So, a dark place. I was and it was crazy. I was hot in Chicago as a comic. And I was starting to go on the road and stuff, but losing my mom, and I didn't know, it's part of my black man craziness, not knowing what to do with pain and all that stuff. I was in a dark place. I was I would go out and start fights sometimes because I didn't know what to do with that pain. So I thought maybe physically something. I just felt pain, and I didn't know what to do with it because I was still, providing for my family doing stand-up. And that got weird at one point where I'll be making a crowd laugh and I'll be standing there and I get angry because it wasn't nothing funny to me. But I had to do it to get to, pay my bills or whatever. I couldn't take a break. But it was, I'm just telling you to tell you this. So I live in Harvey, Illinois, and I needed a haircut, and I was on crutches, which is even crazy because I told you I got to a fight at a club. It's a crazy story. I got time to tell you. It's so stupid. And I, it was a female barber in there, and I was a little hesitant, like, I don't want a woman cut my hair, whatever, in my head about it. But I went in anyway, and she just started speaking life into me. And then she invited me to a church service that was in like a business center at like a hotel in the ghetto.
Best kind.
Nobody, it was probably maybe about 8 of us in there. And man, she just started prophesying to me. Like, I think she was in the middle of her sermon and stopped. Pastor Katara, who I taught, that's my, to this day, it's funny, like, I feel like we're more friends now, too, than anything, instead of just my spiritual leader, but, like, she's just good people. And, man, she said, and it's crazy that I can even remember it because it was so much being said. And that was, like, my first moment of that, of her letting me know that, get out, it's going to happen, and NBC, and, like, the Carmichael show, like, all of that stuff. I don't even know if I've ever really, outside of people in my family, that know, like, no, all of this stuff was prophesied. And I didn't know what she was talking about. Had no idea when it was going to happen. I was still in Chicago. I wasn't in LA yet. I wasn't in New York yet, none of that stuff. And she was like, this is going to happen. You're going to be in front of these. I see contracts. I see this. I mean, it was so specific. And it's weird because when it started happening, I don't know, I'm trying not to be weirdly emotional. But because now that I think about it, and maybe I haven't replayed it like that, the moment where, think about mama gone, I'm a new husband at the time, new dad. I'm making mistakes, just hella mistakes. We at the premiere for Get Out, right? And I remember showing up, and none of the press knew who I was on the carpet, right? Because the movie ain't out yet. So nobody was interviewing me. The publicist like, you should talk to these little real. Like, okay. And I'll never forget this moment. We in the theater. Audience is going crazy out the movie. I'm at the end of the movie, you know what I mean? Which is so crazy. Like, and I told you I was watching my friends in the trailers, and I'm like, damn, I'm close. So I'm sitting there watching that, and we walk out the theater, me and my team. I'm like, that movie's pretty good, ain't it? And I'm in the hallway, and man, you know how they had like the cast and production, and then up there's like a bunch of random people, and they let the random people out, and they literally all started bum rushing me to get pictures and autographs, and the security had to walk me to my car. And I remember we was all sitting there like, what's going on? And so, I'm telling y'all the pacing of the story. We get to the venue where the after party is. I find a spot. Man, I ain't never told this story. And it was like a little couch thingy. And I'm sitting there and I put my hand down. And I could feel my mom's hand holding me. And I was just thinking about what Pastor Katara was saying when I was on those crutches, and I'm like, I messed up, God. I'm so much pain, I'm gonna mess everything up. And I've had so many moments where I thought I was gonna mess everything up, even as the height and having the most money and everything. I'm like, I'm gonna mess it all up, sabotaging myself almost. But that hand is always there, and honestly, I always I feel like it's my mom's and God's hand on my hand. But just to say that, it's just like, bruh, it's interesting with like, and even what you just said, like you going back to who had jokes, like I say this to people all the time. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas they wasn't who they was at first. Which means any of us could be any of this. Eddie wasn't Eddie at first. Nobody was who they were at first. Nobody was. You the first you. And so I'm just grateful for being able to be in a great place now, because it took a while for me to, like you said earlier, I was numb to everything. I think I missed out on a lot of celebrations because I was just trying to act like I was so cool, and I ain't really, or like, yeah, I know. But like, I didn't know. I didn't know any of this was gonna happen. But then that's why I'm thankful. Man, I've had some beautiful moments that will stick with me, man, like you think about like Chadwick Boseman, man. Like it's a spot called the Dime everybody go to. I go to all the time. You know about it. And man, none of us knew Chad was sick. And he was just. I used to be like, man, why you giving me all these gems, bro? But it felt like he knew maybe his time was coming up, and so he was giving all his advice. Like, yo, make sure you pick stuff you want to do with purpose to it, meaning to it, real. I'm like, all right, brother, we at the Dime. They playing Biggie. Why are we talking about this? But those are moments that I'll never forget, though. You know what I'm saying? And I think about this all the time. I've been a part of history. Man, I've been a part of some historic things, man. Most people run away from like having a hit film. Like, I don't want to be just known for that. I've done other stuff, and so, you know what I mean? This changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So like, why wouldn't I? Like, people walk up to me talk about Get Out all the time. I love it. But just the way God has shown up this whole time. I'm at 50 movies. That's since 2018. That's crazy.
Wow.
And it ain't because I'm just saying yes to everything. You know what I'm saying? You're like Clifton Powell, like, well, I did it 2013. That's my friend. But yeah, but God has been like, and just even now, everything's so much more intentional, like the stuff I'm picking and the way I'm working into these roles and characters, the way I'm setting up all these films and giving out opportunities to people that thought I forgot about them. They don't know I have a list. I literally have a list of people they don't know I'm going to bless them. They have no idea. It has to be the right thing. You ain't going to make me force it. I'm going to pick the right thing when it's time. Yes. And I've done that. You know what I'm saying? When I tell you I'm random, I am so random, it don't even make sense. Like, even when I have my show Real, like, when I got the guy that played Eddie Kane, I was watching the Foul Heartbeats documentary, and I'm like, man, where's this brother at? And I got them to cast him in one of the episodes of Real, and, unfortunately, he kind of still dealing with, alcoholism and different things. And I think he was kind of drunk the first rehearsal. And then Fox execs were like, Real, look, man, you got to recast this brother. I think he's drunk.
I think he's drunk.
And I'm like, no. And I pulled him to the side. I don't know this brother. Like, he older than me. And I'm like, hey, you got to get it together, man. You know what I'm saying? And he cleaned up for the rest of the week and was on point. The other Foul Heartbeats showed up to the taping. It was kind of the most beautiful, but it was because I was sitting there watching the documentary, and I'm like, man, where's this brother at? And so I had my casting director go find him.
You know what just occurred to me in this story? I mean, I've never heard it before, but what just occurred to me right now is you saw him, and you gave him a purpose again when he might have lost his way. And that will get somebody straight, like, oh, you see me? Even in my flaws, even in my pain, you still believe in me, I'm going to get it together. That is a powerful, I had a question on here. Do you think that being a comedian, an actor, a producer is your ministry? And that answered my question.
Yeah, 100%. I've been
that
saying
answered my question.
Stand-up has been my ministry forever because it's literally helped so many people, changed people's lives and all that stuff. But like, I've been able to give so many people jobs and different things like that. I do very intentional things. I think recently I was talking about I did Sway in the Morning, and Heather B, she didn't have to do that. She like, and that's what this been to this season. I was wondering if, and I'm being honest with y'all, at one point, because think about, and this is being so transparent, if you ever have people just dish you or just talk crazy, heroes are yours. He like, man, is anybody paying attention to what I'm doing? I know I'm doing something historic, kind of. Like as a stand-up comic, all the stuff I've achieved. Like I've done more than some of my heroes. I've done some stuff on purpose because of my heroes. I'm like, I need a network sitcom guy. Because Martin had one. Cosby had one. Red Fox had one. I want to be on that list. You know, it's a few of us. It was a show called Rail after me. All that stuff is so intentional. The theme song to that show was Crucial Conflict is my favorite rap group. I got them to put as my theme song was The Circle. And them brothers still thanking me to this day. I had them like open my special. I shot at the Chicago Theater. I've been doing some crazy intentional things. Even just like if you look at who's been casted, most of the time it's my wife. You know, it's like, no, I want a chocolate wife. So Vacation Friends, we get Yvonne Orji. And that's my friend. You know, like it is crazy. We talking about writing jobs. We talking about it's so many random things. And so I've never done it for that. But at one point I'm like, God, like, man, y'all keep getting everybody these props that I know ain't got good intentions. This don't make sense to me. I've done stuff, I know this ain't normal. Am I making it look easy or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really was, and honestly, that all kind of festered more when, like, you know, like when, I don't want to keep bringing this brother up, but like when Cat first really said something about me, and it hurt. You know, as much as nobody want to admit to that, I think everybody like to act like they cool, like, yeah, we beefing. No, man, that hurt. You was one of my heroes. You gave me advice. What day did you get mad at me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what was that about? Like, I didn't do anything. But I'm just saying, like, stuff like that but it made me question everything. But then God been doing something lately where people has been just giving me my flowers. I ain't asked for it. I think I've gotten good. Like, you know, so never mind. It's all good. But then I've been getting them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I've been doing some very intentional things because of how I was raised. You know, I grew up with an amazing, like, my cousin's on the Time 100 list this year because of all the stuff he does in the community. But that's how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? And so watching all this, you know, God is good, man.
Amen. Amen. Oh, I'm at time. I can't believe it. I have so much more to talk about. I have so many more questions to ask. I want to share the mic, though. Didn't you have a question over here?
Sorry,
Yes.
brother.
And then we will wrap. I'm about to wrap, everybody outside.
Yeah, I'll keep it quick. Ken Williams, thank you for the transparency. Also from the Chicago, I would say the Chicagoland, some other Chicago people here, so South Suburbs.
Which what?
Madison.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I just had a question. You know, I know you've done a lot of films, like, you know, comedy, rom-com. I'm a documentary filmmaker, so I just was curious, do you have any stories that you want to tell through documentary?
100%. We was producing one that was kind of on fire, man, and it feel like kind of Trump helped stop a lot of that. You know, it was about environmental racism. Man, and then everybody got scared. Like, it was like crazy that people was kind of down. We had like some offers, and it just all just, you know.
Wow.
So, which is, you know, one of those things like, all right, real, you might have to spend your own bread to do it, which I do spend my money on me. I don't mind investing. I mean, that's what I've done my festival and all these different things. But yeah, it's even just comedy stuff. You know, I want to do something about all the great impersonators. It's a gift to that, man. What a lot of these cats do, what Eddie did, you know, man, Jay Farrell, Godfrey, Afion, Jamie. Yeah, it's a gang of people who like, and it's a crazy psyche. That's why I want to have a conversation with them to even do that. Like, so yes, I'm like, I got some things in the works, and just even kind of telling my story. I documented my whole journey of directing my first feature, and so you get all, it's very honest.
A film and a film.
Yeah, so I think I may add that with the journey and stand up and just put it all together into one thing. So Yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm watching what Quest of Love is doing, man. It's brother, it's killing on the doc. We need more documentaries. We have so many living legends. I think after D'Angelo's death, I was just like, okay, yeah, we know some. We really not giving people their flowers. We really ain't. Like we for real ain't. Like we have too many. Like white actors, musicians, they get their flowers. They getting it. We do not give up, and that's why a lot of them don't even know they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, it might sound crazy when it comes to comedy. I think if we give more of these cats their flowers, a lot of this bitterness wouldn't even exist. Our song ain't enough. But even like to even just to bring up Cat, right? For real, what he's done is crazy legendary, and I don't think I think he believes nobody outside the group of people he messed with really see it. You know what I'm saying? Because he probably saw Kevin get that award, the Mark Twain Award, and he like, what? I don't get no Mark Twain Award. It's like. But guess what? He does deserve his flowers because what he did was legendary. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I think we have to figure out a way. You think about, we're just talking about Dreamgirls, but we should have been talking about what Dreamgirls meant, who all came from that production. It is legendary movie and TV and film stars from that Dreamgirls cast that was rotated. I used to hear David Allen Greer, Loretta talk about it all the time. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all was in Dreamgirls together? They're like, yeah, that's how we met. We don't talk about those. Like, we just need to figure out a way to give more flowers. Like, that hurt that it's funny because D'Angelo never left any of our minds or playlists. No. But we just didn't get, when I saw that brother being almost upset about what he thought the audience kind of thought about him on the internet, and then he started seeing all those positive things, I'm like, he don't even know how any of us feel about him. I don't want nobody else to go and don't know what we feel about them. You know what I'm saying? So I hope we figure out better ways to do that.
Before we close, my last question, before they say Yamoria, is in keeping with celebrating the legacy of Oscar Micheaux and independent filmmaking and creating and cultivating opportunities from within. What words do you have? Some advice you can leave with our wonderful creators here when it comes to creating and collaborating with one another?
Well, first of all, we need to figure out what's we need to do a series or a feature about Oscar, right? At this point. At this point.
Maybe a series.
That's what I was thinking too. Even if it's like, a limited series, which is so much easier to win awards for.
It is true. It's not gonna come back, so people are like.
Yeah. I think, because Oscar's story is so unique and so like, he was so ahead of his time.
Absolutely.
You think about some of the technology didn't even exist with some of the things he was able to do with film. I don't know. It's fascinating. So, I hope somebody talk to y'all about that. Good. Because I was thinking about that the other day when I was hearing you speak, and I was like, why? That's interesting. And I feel like it's especially if we take our time with it, especially all the different places he lived and did things there. So take our time with it. Take our time. What was the question though? Because that was on my head.
Just a word for the people before we close to encourage them as they go along in their independent film journey.
Yeah, I think we just gotta look, y'all. Just keep creating, keep collabing. Don't be scared of the no's. Let the no's be the no's. I think this is an interesting season. Like, God is just waiting on us.
God was just waiting on us?
God is just waiting on us.
God is just waiting on us.
God is cleaning the house. As much as all this stuff look like it's negative, it's a lot of cleansing happening. Yeah.
God is just waiting on us.
Evil people think they doing evil, and sometimes they don't know they doing God's work.
Yes.
So, don't just pay attention with the service. God showed you what you're supposed to be doing for real, yeah. Like seriously, if whatever your faith is, we in LA, so people. Like, yeah, I believe in this leaf.
I wanna close and say to all of you, anybody familiar with Labyrinth Theater Company in New York? Okay, I'm a theater. Okay. I was part of the intensive several years ago, and I do not know who created this from Labyrinth, but I do want to repeat it and pass it on to all of you. And I want to say, you are worth so much more than you have been told. You are worth so much more than you have been told. Rel, you are worth so much more than you have been told. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Oh, cool.
Thanks, y'all. Have a fun time at the mixer and see you around.